Right, well, we'll keep our eye on the top 14 and look ahead to the Champions Cup next week. Let's have a look at Pro de Deux, though, which is is bubbling nicely, simmering to a crescendo. What is there? Just thinking about this, 7 more rounds of games before the playoffs, and it's a bit of a bun fight in the middle, of which your team Brive are right in the midst of it, Joe.
Yeah, it's exciting. There's 5 games, week off, 2 games, then you're into the playoffs. So there's 5 games, you're going to see things really happen, because if you're leaving it to the last 2 games, it means you've made some mistakes on the way.
So is that the idea? Is that the ideal situation that the teams will be going for? Try and wrap things up and then be able to manage your squad in those last couple of weeks.
Yeah, I think all teams, for example, us, like Béziers away last game of the season, you don't want to be having to go to Béziers to win that game, because they're fighting for the top 2, 4 as well. You don't have to be going there needing a big result. So, yes, that's going to happen only if we do well in this block. So other teams are in the same similar situation. I think we got 3 away games in this block as well, which is going to make it more difficult. That's for sure.
Yeah, and it's away to Montauban, who are in 5th. So that's the late kickoff on Saturday evening. That's a big one.
It's a bit of a derby game as well. It's only an hour and 20 to Montauban from Brive. They've been a good team all year. The stadium's always packed, a lot of energy. They love the rugby there. They're really passionate about it. So I'm really looking forward to that one. It's going to be an interesting game.
So I touched on it talking about the top 14, but again, you've already talked about this block of 5 will have extra significance with the teams. Does that mean, maybe after a little bit of a breather, you'll be going, teams will generally be going more full bore with their selection in this next month?
Yeah, certain teams will be forced into this to either chase down their position in the top or avoid getting dragged into a relegation dogfight. 5 games, like I say, that first game, you're going to put out your best team. Second, third, fourth, if you're away from home or you have a weak team coming to you who you think you can beat with a second string or half a second string, then you're going to try that, because you can't put your best team on the pitch 5 games in a row. Top 14, Pro League, it's a very physical rugby. You just can't have those guys performing week in, week out.
5 of the top 6 teams are away from home. Only Montauban, who you travel to out of Grenoble, Provence, Béziers, Brive and Soyo Angoulême, they're all on the road. Just give us a sense of how challenging it is, whoever you're playing, to go away on a Thursday night, Friday night.
I think that now it's probably a period of the year where it's a bit easier, because when you're going away, you're normally clear about what you need to do. And like you say, 5 of the 6 teams in the top are going away, and they know that an away victory, it's like getting a penalty shootout in which you get one, and then the pressure's on the opposition to match you. If they miss their opportunity, then boom, you go ahead, and you're more likely to be there at the end. So there's a bit of psychology around it as well. It's quite an interesting period. If a team you're competing with to get into the top 2 win an away game and you don't, that next week you're at home, and there's more pressure obviously to win in that situation. So it can have an effect on certain teams. It's an exciting point of the year. It's really interesting.
And I remember when we chatted to Courtney Laws before he even moved out, when he was still living in Northampton, and the interviews in the channel, one of the things he did acknowledge was it's a long, tough season. Not necessarily Brive, again, you don't need to reveal trade secrets or anything, but just generally in your experience, what sort of state is the squad in, and what can you ask of players, and what do you need to get out of players as a coach?
Yeah, obviously there's a certain amount of luck with collision injuries and the depth of your squad. So if you recruit wisely, then you should be able to manage your squad with those injuries that happen aside. You can have a really bad year and it screws everything up. But a good performance director and S&C department, they should be managing your squad so you come to this point of the season in which they're fresh enough to play at the highest intense levels, which would have meant they would have been rested, they would have been given time off during the season to allow them to get to that point. It's what Toulouse have done really well in the last couple of years. So hopefully we've given the players enough time off decontracter, to de-stress and get out their head, to freshen up. And we've pushed them hard enough, so they're in the good enough condition now to really, really attack this key point in the season where they're going to have to be playing at their best. Because coaching-wise, there's not much more you can be changing now. The teams should be getting to a point where that's what they're capable of doing. They're not going to evolve much more than they are now to become a different animal.
And what's the town of Brive like at the minute? Are you starting to does the interest just really start ramping up? What's it like?
I think one of the boys was talking this week about if you get a home semi-final, the intensity and passion in the town on the lead up and then in the stadium, how big a deal it is. It'd be packed to the rafters with people so engaged in what's happening on the pitch and around it that it's just one of those things that will live with you forever. So yeah, one of the players was waxing lyrical about that this week.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Big round of matches. I think it's Dax are hosting Béziers in the Thursday night game, and then keep an eye out for Joe's Brive on the road at their rivals Montauban. Big weekend. Joe, enjoy, mate. And yeah, hit subscribe if you haven't already on the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. Tell us your thoughts in the comments down below, and we will see you on the next one.